We're discussing another VARguments episode where we preview or look at the most contentious refereeing decisions from the last round. And round 31 gave us two interesting decisions that we'll talk about as usual. Starting with you, Victor. I'm sure you might probably not like this one, but yeah, should Danny Welbeck's opener for Brighton have been allowed to stand after what was an apparent push on Ibrahima Konate?
We have seen so many of these instances this season. Some goals chalked off, others allowed to stand. So it's all very messy to try to pass judgment when it comes to this sort of incident. However, this one seemed a bit on the soft side compared to others. If you look at Yoro on Bassi, for instance, a few months ago, or the Kolomwani thing, I think it's the correct decision to allow this goal. I think Konate should have contested better. He's a big lad. He should have shown a bit more strength, a bit more determination to get to that header. Yes, there is a push, but it's not as forceful as other times. So, correct decision, although obviously I say this reluctantly. However, not only because I'm a Liverpool fan, but also because of the flip-flopping we have been seeing in cases like this all season.
Yeah. Mark, your take on that one?
I'd have to probably say that it was a correct decision, but overall, I feel like VAR's protocol is not that great at the moment, because if ref did whistle and say it was a foul, they would never get him to the VR and it would stand as a no goal. It just feels like, as we already mentioned, offset. It feels like managers have to have at least one or two challenges for the game, because with the way VR is working at the moment, it just doesn't pay off.
I think if they start doing an advertising campaign for VAR, this should be the most optimistic slogan they can possibly go for. Not that great.
Yeah, fair point. For me, I don't think it's more about whether the push was apparent or not. I think it's the precedent. And yes, the Euro one was allowed to stand, but more often than not, we've seen incidents like this chalked off, especially when it leads to a goal or called off as a foul. So, in my opinion, he should have not been allowed to stand. But yeah, it's not a scandal that he did. But to me, if we are going by the precedents that they've set, then this goal should not have been allowed to stand. But yeah, maybe they consider that, oh, Welbeck is an old English forward against a strong Konate. Why should he push it? Maybe, I don't know what was going on in their heads. But yeah, to me, should not have been allowed to stand. But anyways, moving on, Victor, there was chaos in the Nottingham Forest box after a shot from Martistel came crashing down the box. Neco Williams was adjourned, or it seemed like he pulled down Christian Romero in the box, preventing him from getting to the rebound. What are your thoughts on that?
I think this should have been a penalty. It was such an obvious pull, and I believe Romero had he gotten to this ball properly, it would likely have been a goal. There's clear contact there. There's a hand across the throat and the shoulder. I think it was a daft challenge, and it went unpunished for whatever reason PGMOL wants to shove onto us. So I have to say wrong decision here.
Yeah, Max, your take on this one?
I'd say watching it live, it felt like a penalty, but when you look at the replay, I mean, Romero overreacted a lot at that moment, because the touch was pretty much slight, but he felt like he was shot off. I mean, for me, it's probably no penalty just because of the fact that he already lost the ball and he felt that arm on his shoulder, but it was never a huge contact and he knew he's not gonna score, and that's why he overreacted like that, just to hope for the penalty. I mean, it could have been a penalty, but I just don't want to see this type of penalties in Prem.
I mean, the rules are the rules, in my opinion. Whether he was going to get to the ball or not, a pull like that, I mean, it's a clear penalty to me. I don't see anything else. But I mean, maybe because it's Spurs, I don't know. But like, on a serious note, though, I think that should have been a penalty, in my opinion. There's no two ways about it. But yeah, we'll leave our viewers now to join us in the conversation and tell us what they think. Should Danny Welbeck's goal, should it have been allowed to stand just like it did? And should Spurs have been awarded the penalty after Neco Williams' pull on Christian Romero? Tell us what you think about these two incidents, and we'll be waiting to hear from you in the comment section below.